Tucked deep in the golden countryside of France lies a side of Timothée Chalamet the world rarely sees. Far from red carpets and flashing cameras. This isn't the star of Dune or Call Me by Your Name. This is the artist at rest, barefoot in the grass, surrounded by the same orchards and stone walls his family has cherished for generations. Today we're stepping into Timothée's rural French retreat, a home that blends rustic charm, cinematic light, and the quiet poetry of life off the grid. The story of Timothée Chalamet begins not on a movie set, but in a cramped Hell's Kitchen apartment in New York City, a place where art and hunger often share the same table. Born on December 27, 1995, to a French father and an American mother, he grew up between two languages, two cultures, and two worlds. Parisian summers with family in Le Chambon-sur-Lignon, and Manhattan winters filled with auditions, subway rides, and impossible dreams. His mother, a Broadway dancer turned teacher, taught him rhythm. His father, an editor for UNICEF, taught him patience. From this mix of grace and intellect came a restless boy who watched films like others watched sports. Obsessively, passionately, searching for something he could call his own. At LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts, the young Chalamet stood out not for arrogance but for raw, nervous electricity. He played in school musicals, scribbled film ideas in notebooks, and spent long nights studying the gestures of his heroes: Heath Ledger, Daniel Day-Lewis, Al Pacino. By the time he graduated in 2013, he already had a resume of television credits: Law and Order, Homeland, Royal Pains. Small windows into a larger storm brewing inside him. Then came Interstellar, 2014. As the son of Matthew McConaughey's character, Timothée had only a handful of scenes, yet the emotion in his eyes lingered long after the credits. The film made $675 million, but for him, it was less a triumph and more a haunting reminder of how small he still was in Hollywood's universe. In the years that followed, he faced rejection after rejection, losing roles in The Neon Demon, White Boy Rick, and others that could have launched him higher. He was broke, living in a small apartment, doubting whether this path was meant for him. And then, Call Me by Your Name, 2017. A quiet film shot in the Italian countryside that would change everything. As Elio, he was vulnerable, intelligent, heartbreakingly real. The film became a global sensation, earning him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, the youngest nominee in nearly 80 years. Overnight, the boy from Hell's Kitchen became Hollywood's new sensation. Directors called, designers chased him. The boy who once practiced monologues in the mirror was now walking the Oscars' red carpet in velvet suits, and confidence that seemed too old for his age. From there, the roles came like waves. The rebellious son in Beautiful Boy, 2018, the romantic Laurie in Little Women, 2019, the crown-wearing conflicted king in The King, 2019. Each character deepened his range, pushing him from prodigy to performer. Then came Dune, 2021, his leap into cinematic immortality. As Paul Atreides, heir to a galactic empire, he carried a billion-dollar franchise on his shoulders and didn't flinch. The film was a critical and commercial triumph, solidifying him as the face of a new generation of leading men. Dune, Part 2, 2024 followed, breaking box office records and confirming that Chalamet wasn't just a prodigy anymore. He was power, precision, and presence. But even amid the sandstorms of Arrakis, he never forgot play. He sang and danced in Wonka, 2023, reminding audiences that artistry could be joyful, not just heavy. And then came a complete unknown, 2024, where he became Bob Dylan. Not imitated, but became. He performed over 40 Dylan songs live, no dubbing, no safety net. The result was electric, earning him his second Academy Award nomination and securing his place among the rare few whose talent transcends genre. Today, Timothée Chalamet stands not as a celebrity, but as a cultural phenomenon. The rare actor who combines box office magnetism with artistic risk. Between Los Angeles premieres and quiet retreats in his French countryside home, he continues to chase meaning, not fame. In that serene farmhouse surrounded by golden fields, he finds the stillness that fame could never offer. A place where creativity breathes freely, far from the noise of Hollywood. Rural French retreat. Hidden deep within the rolling hills of southern France, Timothée Chalamet's countryside retreat feels like a secret whispered by the wind itself. The moment you pass through the wrought iron gate, framed by lavender hedges and century-old olive trees, a sense of stillness wraps around you. Ahead stands a stone farmhouse from Provence, restored with reverence. Its ochre walls glowing under the soft Mediterranean sun. Its tiled roof curving gently like a memory of another century. The garden stretches across nearly 8,000 square meters. A painter's dream of wild herbs, rosemary, and cypress. A gravel path leads toward the main terrace, where sunlight dances across terracotta tiles and a panoramic view of the Alpilles Mountains unfolds like a living canvas. This is where Timothée often spends quiet mornings, sketchbook in hand, sipping espresso and letting the still air feed his imagination. Inside, the house offers around 250 square meters of living space, intimate yet open. The entrance hallway opens into a sunlit living room, its limestone floors cool underfoot and its beams preserved in raw wood, giving a rustic elegance that feels both cinematic and deeply personal. A pair of linen sofas rest before a minimalist fireplace. Nearby, a vintage record player hums quietly beside shelves of French poetry and screenplays. It is not a display of luxury, it is a portrait of an artist's mind at rest. The kitchen, crafted by Cuisine Fabre, is a masterpiece of function and soul. A Lacanche range gleams beneath hanging copper pots, its scent of baked bread mingling with the fragrance of fresh basil from the window garden. Every corner feels touched by history or yet designed for the rhythm of a modern life. This is where Chalamet hosts close friends from Paris and Los Angeles, cooking late into the night, laughter spilling out into the stone courtyard under strings of soft lights. On the ground floor, 2 bedrooms open directly to the garden, each with its own ensuite shower and dressing area. The decor blends muted tones of sand and linen, textured with handmade ceramics and rough-hewn oak. Upstairs, the master bedroom unfolds like a private retreat. Large French doors open to a terrace overlooking the mountains. At dawn, golden light pours in, painting the room in warmth and quiet. One can imagine Timothée writing here alone with his thoughts, the world outside hushed to a whisper. Beneath the house, a converted basement serves as both parking and a creative refuge. Part garage, part rehearsal space. The air smells faintly of oil paint and leather-bound notebooks. Outside, the 10-by-4-meter swimming pool shimmers between stone walls and sculpted olive trees, mirroring the deep blue of the Provençal sky. It is not ostentatious. It is peace, distilled. As dusk fell behind the Alps, the air around Timothée slowed. Light filtering through the olive trees, a breeze passing through the old stone walls. Every step, every doorway, every scent of rosemary captured the rhythm of his life. Slow, deep, and full of feeling. This was not just a place to live, but a place where the artist's soul could rest and create. Behind the lavender garden is where he keeps his favorite cars. Each one represents a different personality and stage in his life. Now let's explore Timothée Chalamet's car collection. Car collection. The first was a Lucid Gravity, its silver paintwork gleaming in the southern French afternoon sun, reflecting the clear sky. Timothée chose it not for its speed, but for its absolute silence. A rare feeling in a world constantly surrounded by cameras and cheers. On his first day behind the wheel, he drove through the vineyards of Provence with no music, no companions, just the sound of the wind blowing through the panoramic glass roof. The electric SUV, worth about $150,000, was not just a means of transportation, but also a symbol of a modern Timothée, balanced and refined in every moment. Next was a gray BMW Z3 Roadster, the first car Timothée had bought himself after the success of Call Me By Your Name, as a gift to himself. He used to drive it around Laurel Canyon with his then-girlfriend in the golden afternoon sun, laughter and the sound of the engine echoing in the quiet space of the Hollywood Hills. Although it is now worth only about $25,000, the Roadster still carries with it a part of his youth, a New York dreamer, always burning with ambition and always striving for the best. Each of his cars is more than just a means of transportation, but a milestone of a journey where passion, memories, and style come together. And behind those personal machines lies a solid foundation, a fortune and career he built with talent, discipline, and courage. Now let's explore the journey that shaped his true worth. Income and net worth, $25 million. That is the empire Timothée Chalamet quietly commands today. For someone who began as a restless teenager performing in school plays and small television roles, that number represents far more than fortune. It marks the culmination of every risk he took, every script he chose, and every silence he filled with meaning on screen. The turning point came with Wonka. The whimsical musical not only proved his versatility but also delivered the biggest paycheck of his career, $9 million for one role. For Timothée, the figure symbolized freedom, the ability to choose projects not for survival but for legacy. It allowed him to take creative leaps like transforming into Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown, where he trained for months to sing and play guitar live on camera. Yet his money story stretches further back. Before the millions, there was Call Me by Your Name, the performance that changed everything. The film paid him only about $50,000, yet it opened every door. That single summer in Italy turned a shy New Yorker into an international phenomenon, earning his first Academy Award nomination and invitations from directors across the world. Each subsequent role, Lady Bird, Beautiful Boy, Dune, carried not just higher salaries reaching into the multi-million range, but also creative control and back-end participation deals that grew with his fame. His income also flows from image rights and endorsements, though he approaches them sparingly. When he wears Cartier on the red carpet or appears in Chanel campaigns, it's less about branding and more about storytelling, a modern twist on old Hollywood charm. Each collaboration is said to bring him 6 to 7-figure sums, yet he treats it like another performance, crafting his public image with the same precision he brings to film. Beyond acting and fashion, Timothée has quietly entered the realm of real estate and investments. In 2022, he purchased a historic Beverly Hills estate for $11 million, once owned by tennis legend Pete Sampras and musician Kenny G. The house, with its sun-drenched pool and tennis court, became a sanctuary, a place where the boy from Hell's Kitchen could finally breathe. He also invests in film production ventures and environmentally conscious startups, aligning wealth with values. Timothée's wealth isn't about numbers but purpose. Each dollar reflects a choice to create, not to flaunt. His success feels calm, deliberate, and deeply human. Behind the halo of wealth, he chose to quietly spread his luck, not with ostentatious words, but with kind actions and a loving heart. Philanthropy. Timothée Chalamet's philanthropic journey began not in the limelight, but in a moment of confronting his own conscience. In 2018, when he starred in the film A Rainy Day in New York amid Woody Allen's controversy over allegations of sexual misconduct, Timothée made a rare decision in the world of Hollywood. He refused to accept any salary for the role. Instead of keeping quiet, he publicly announced that he would donate all of his salary to 3 organizations: Time's Up Legal Defense Fund, the LGBT Center of New York, and RAI Namasan, an organization that supports victims of sexual assault. This action, although not tied to a specific number, but according to industry sources, the amount he gave up was around $120,000, a small number compared to the film's revenue, but bigger than any words. Since then, Timothée has been seen as a symbol of a generation of young artists who dare to live up to the right, dare to turn fame into responsibility. 3 years later, in 2021, the world witnessed another side of him. Not the guy on the red carpet, but the artist who uses fashion to help. Together with designer Haider Ackermann, he launched a hoodie line called HATC, short for Haider Ackermann-Timothée Chalamet collaboration, with a commitment that 100% of the profits will be donated to the organization Afghanistan Libre, which protects the right to education for Afghan women and girls. With thousands of girls forced out of school after the Taliban retook Kabul, the campaign went viral, selling out in just a few days and raising more than $200,000. Some of the money went to buying online learning devices for children in Kabul and Herat, classrooms held secretly where girls continued to learn even though everything outside was closed. The contributions didn't stop there. He also quietly supported City Harvest, an organization that provides food to the homeless in New York, where he was born and raised. Every year, he donates about $50,000 from advertising contracts to support the fund, especially during the pandemic when hundreds of families lost their jobs. From those quiet but meaningful choices, Timothée Chalamet emerges as an artist who uses kindness to define success, living slowly, living deeply, and always keeping his heart towards good things. Outside the spotlight of premieres and charity galas, his world takes on a quieter rhythm, one defined not by red carpets, but by simplicity, art, and the calm rituals that ground his life away from Hollywood. Personal life. These days, Timothée Chalamet lives a strange balance between the spotlight and privacy. He remains close to his mother, Nicole Flender, a former Broadway dancer, and often calls her wherever he is. In between his busy schedule, he still makes time to visit his family in New York or France as a way to keep himself from being swept away by the pace of Hollywood. His mother remains the only person who can make him stop and think before making important decisions, and that bond has become a quiet support in a brilliant career. On the romantic front, Timothée is currently dating Kylie Jenner. Although there were rumors that the two had broken up due to busy schedules, they reunited in October 2025 at Yankee Stadium when Kylie showed up wearing a Marty Supreme hoodie as a quiet way to support her boyfriend. The two are said to still be in contact every day and maintain a low-key relationship, just like Timothée always chooses to keep his love safe and private. In addition to his girlfriend, he still maintains close relationships with his old friends in New York and a few longtime colleagues in the film industry, some of whom he considers family. Timothée's schedule now revolves around major film projects, especially Marty Supreme, a film that has him working hard, even secretly learning table tennis for months to get into character perfectly. Every morning, he usually starts his day with light exercise, warming up, playing table tennis, or walking around the quiet neighborhood before entering a long workday of script readings, discussions with the director, and rehearsals with his co-stars. When he's not on set, he spends a few hours for himself, reading, listening to hip-hop, cycling around the city, or simply sitting in a cafe watching people go by. For him, it's a way to recharge his creative batteries. Timothée's recent travels have been filled with a sense of freedom. In August 2025, he and Kylie were spotted at a small cafe in Budapest, Hungary, where he was filming. In early October, they returned to New York together, appearing at a game between the Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays. He dressed casually but still exuded a natural and attractive demeanor. In recent, Timothée has also changed his style. From a neutral romantic image, he has changed to a more masculine style, close to street fashion. Table tennis has become a new passion, not only for his acting, but also as part of his current lifestyle. On a normal day, Timothée doesn't need luxury to feel satisfied. He likes to start his mornings with a cup of black coffee and some Kid Cudi. His afternoons are spent walking around New York or working out with friends, and his evenings are spent on occasional long video calls with Kylie or his family in France. He lives simply but deeply. Every choice, every action reflects the spirit of an artist. Free, meticulous, and always a little mysterious. Amidst the fierce cycle of fame, Timothée Chalamet still chooses to live as his original nature. A lover of art, a lover of life, and learning to balance between two worlds, where the lights never go out and where the soul still has room for peace. Timothée Chalamet is more than just a star. He is a symbol of a generation of artists who are real, deep, and emotional. Amidst the fame, he still maintains a rare calm and sophistication. If you also love Timothée Chalamet's lifestyle and story, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos about his inspiring life, home, and artistic journey.